Welcome to Should You Platinum, a show where I talk about a game I've recently got the platinum in and share my experience of the platinum journey and whether or not I think you should platinum it. Aliens Dark Descent is a hard game, and I know this because this is what the game actually tells you when you first go to play it. So is the platinum journey for this a hard one then? Well, after getting the platinum in Aliens Dark Descent, I'd have to say no, not really. It's a fairly average challenge, and while it definitely seems like a hard game to play at first, once you understand the game's systems and mechanics, it's not that bad, and the only real challenge you'll have is that this ain't no picnic trophy for beating it on Nightmare mode, which is the hardest difficulty, but outside of that one gold, it's a fairly standard trophy list full of story progression, collectibles, kill related and miscellaneous trophies. In total, Aliens Dark Descent has 46 trophies for you to earn, which breaks down into 4 gold, 5 silver and 36 bronze trophies, along with of course a shiny platinum trophy. Though, if like me, you played this on the PS5, then you won't have that platinum as it's currently unobtainable due to a broken archivist trophy for collecting all of the datapads. Thankfully though, this issue only seems to affect the PS5 version, and after this wasn't fixed in the last 2 patches over the last 2 months, I went ahead and played it again on the PS4 to get my platinum on that version. On PlayStation 4, the platinum journey lasted me 37 hours, and that consisted of 2 full playthroughs of the game. The first was on Nightmare, its hardest difficulty setting, and the second was on Custom, with everything set to easy and the limited save mode. Plus, there was some reloading involved in that to get some misc trophies. You should note, however, that my PS5 Platinum journey currently clocks in at 80 plus hours, which was over the course of 3 full playthroughs, which is considerably higher. I would really recommend 3 playthroughs to platinum this game. Your first should be on normal difficulty to just enjoy the game, its story, and to also get a feel for each mission, the mechanics of the game, and how the death clock works. The second playthrough should be on Nightmare difficulty, as that will then be a bit more manageable because you'll already know what to expect. Once that's beaten, a third final playthrough is needed to get the remaining trophies. However, this time we can do it on the custom difficulty setting with everything set to easy for a much more fun time. So before I talk about each trophy, here are some general tips for playing and platinuming Aliens Dark Descent that you may or may not know about. So right away, before you start playing, you want to go into the options and set the R2 button to pause the game instead of slowing down time. It'll be much easier to play and manage your squad with that setting changed. The turrets, these are the most vital piece of equipment and you'll use them all of the time as it's the best way to take on multiple waves of aliens coming at you. But did you know you can actually rotate the turret as you place it down? The game doesn't really make that clear, so to do that you simply press and hold the button down to put the turret in a place and then turn the left stick to angle where you want it to be pointing towards, and once you're happy you just press the button to place the turret. At any time you see a static white blob on the radar, it's most likely an alien in an air vent waiting to ambush you. And if you end up walking into one and find yourself spotted by it, just try to just walk out of the circle. Most of the time you'll make it out without it actually spotting you on the lower difficulties. And if you ever find these are blocking a path that you want to walk down, simply walk in and out of its eyesight, the circle that you'll see on the floor, and then you'll see a red bar slowly draining on the air vent. If you wait a few seconds, once it depletes, the alien will go away, and that will allow you to pass through safely. Welding doors are a great way to make a manual save, but it can only be done when you see the green house icon on the map in certain rooms. Be aware though that sometimes the game will bug out, and even when it says weld the door to make a save room, it sometimes still won't let you save. Try to only do these weld rooms in rooms that only have a single door to them. If there's a 2 or 3 door room, it's not really worth wasting all of the toolkits on it to save. Just backtrack around the map and find a single room door. Toolkits also have another cool use. You can trade them in for 2 command points. So remember that if you ever run out and are face to face with a bunch of aliens and you want to use your shotgun or grenades to kill them quickly. So now I'm going to break down the Marine classes and talk about what things I think you should get for them and how useful those classes are. First up is the Sergeant, and this one is essential, and you'll want to upgrade their backpack to allow for more command points for your squad, and then also upgrade the backpack again for the faster regeneration of command points. Command points allow you to do the special moves like firing the shotgun, the grenade launcher, using suppressive fire, and a load of other cool things, so it's great to have this ability on the Sergeant to allow you to get more command points and regenerate them faster. The Recon class is up next, and this is another essential one that you'll definitely want to have in your squad of 4. Make sure you buy the sniper rifle for this class and also upgrade the perk to allow for the sniper rifle to be silenced. You definitely want to have that suppressor on because stealth is key in this game, and with a silenced sniper rifle going through with a Recon in your squad, you'll be almost untouchable. The Gunner class, this one is okay and is useful for the suppressing fire if you upgrade their ability to do more damage under suppressing fire. I never bothered with any other of the class specific perks for this one other than that. The Medic class is also useful as he can heal people in comas and revive downed Marines, so you'll want to get those perks on that as soon as possible. He can also negate stress by these tablets, so you want to make sure you get that one as well because that can be handy at times if there's not a save room around and everyone's getting stressed out. Finally, the Techer class. This one I didn't really find much use for because you can actually get the smart ass perk on other Marines to allow them to open up the hacked doors, which kind of makes this class redundant, and I never really bothered with the drone. In fact, I've never used it once in my entire 4 or 5 different playthroughs. So yeah, this one is one you want to just eventually use on your 5th Marine if you want to get the trophy. So in terms of your team loadout, you'll want to go with a team of a Sarge, Recon, Gunner and Medic, as that'll be good for new players going through the game. However, a team of 2 Sergeants, a Recon and then either a Gunner or a Medic is also great, as the 2 Sergeants can give you even more command points, though it really is up to your own personal playstyle. The Marines only earn XP by completing primary and secondary mission objectives and for surviving the onslaughts. Killing enemies, or every enemy on the map, won't actually increase your XP. Plus, you'll want to avoid as many fights as possible when going through the game, so you don't really want to get spotted. Getting to level 10 won't be a problem for your first 4 Marines, as you'll probably get there by the 8th or 9th mission, and the 5th one should get there by mission 12. So once you notice the arrow icon on his name on the HUD when you're playing the level, just extract out of that mission to upgrade him and get the level 10 trophy for that character. If you don't earn the trophy for having each class at level 10, you can easily do it on the custom difficulty setting with everything set to easy and the death clock turned off. And if you still don't have it by the time you've done all the missions, simply just put them all in training and just keep looping the days, and eventually they'll all get to level 10, but it shouldn't really be a problem. In terms of the Marines' health, always make sure you go to the physicians during the in-between mission bits on the Otago. You want to save as many physicians as you can throughout the missions, and whenever you see that option coming up when you loop a day forward, rescue them as many times as you can, providing it doesn't cause any negative effects. The more of these you have, the faster you can heal your team, meaning the less days you're going to advance, meaning you won't go up as high in the aggression level. The therapy option, when unlocked, is also very handy to use, as you can remove a Marine's negative trait. Each Marine will get these negative side effects, such as a decrease in their aim, or they'll get stressed more. So it's great to use this medbay to reduce the effects of these. So basically, you'll want to try and heal a Marine fully and then put them in the med bay before the therapy thing, before advancing the day. The Marines in therapy can be taken out at any time, even if it says they need to be in there for 2 to 3 days. If you just simply do 1 day, take them out, they would have still lost a bit of that negative trait, so it's just handy to just chip away at it slowly. In terms of the Marine perks, Here's what I would say to pick when starting out. Looter will be very handy because that will allow you to pick up more materials in the boxes. Deadeye will allow you to get more percent chance of getting a critical hit on an alien, so you can maybe take out his legs, meaning he'll just be crawling along the floor, making them easier to kill. Whenever you see Redemption come up, pick that because that will remove one of the negative traits completely. Pouches is a good one to get early on because that will allow you to carry more toolkits and medikits. Mindful is another good one to have because that will, I think that makes you no longer tired. So those are some good early ones to get. In terms of what weapons to buy, I only brought the plasma rifle and the RPG, as that's all I needed. You get the shotgun and the grenade launcher by default, and they are the best things to use for the early missions. Switch to the plasma rifle when they are the right level, and use that beam ability on the plasma rifle to take out enemies at doorways. It's really powerful on the Queen aliens as well. In the meantime, before you get to that point, you can just use the RPG on the Queens to take them out more quickly. Other than that though, I only ever brought the mine just to get the trophy, and the rest of the weapons didn't seem to have much point because your starting rifle is just so good, and then all you need then is the plasma rifle. I didn't really make much use of the flamethrower either because, well, it's just not needed in how I played. I then spent the rest of my materials on marine perks to upgrade them, as well as buying turrets, tools and medikits to max them out before I started each mission. In terms of the Otago, when you advance days, if the options you get aren't good, don't be afraid to just reload the save file and then advance the day again to get different options. These cycle through and change every time you try and advance a day, so if you don't get ones that you like, just keep reloading until you get ones that are better and more beneficial to you. There's ones that actually push down the infestation levels, and ones that will give you loads of resources and even more people. Don't pick any options that cause people to die, because if anyone dies in the Otago, it will also void the trophy for not letting anyone die. It's not just the Marines in the missions that you take with you. People on the Otago count as well. And if you're worried about that trophy for not letting anyone die, you can easily tell when someone's died and when you voided the trophy by going into the barracks, because there you'll see the training room. However, if someone dies, there's a new tab that gets added called Memorial, which will list everyone who's died in the game that you've been playing. So if you ever see that during your playthrough, you know you failed it, but if you never see it there, then you know you're doing okay and you're still in with a chance of getting the trophy. In terms of the xenotech to unlock, for me the only one worthwhile is the aerial xenotoxin application, as this is one that you can use on the Otago to decrease the aggressiveness level. And unfortunately this isn't available until mission 9 extraction, and you can find it in this crate here, but it will help you reduce the aggression level down for the last few missions, and by that point in the game it's probably really high, so it's definitely worth saving your Xeno for that. The extraction of the facehuggers xenotech also seems like it would be handy, but this one really isn't essential, and annoyingly you'll have to buy it each time you go on a mission, which is just BS, and to be honest it's a waste of your xenotech. You are better off just reloading the checkpoint than wasting money on this, outside of the one time you'll use it to get a trophy. With those tips under your belt, you should have an easier time with Aliens Dark Descent. So next up, I want to give a little warning. As mentioned, the PS5 version has an unobtainable platinum trophy currently due to the bugged Archivist trophy for collecting all the datapads. And while the PS4 trophy is fine, the two versions of the game both have multiple bugs and glitches. On some later missions you'll encounter crashes whenever you try and save, or just random crashes throughout the mission. You'll also find that Marines get stuck opening boxes, and so then you can't move them, which voids your run. You'll also find sometimes that Marines disappear, and when you look on the map you'll just see this green blob just flying away outside of the bounds of the level. You'll also find that sometimes progress doesn't save, and mission objectives either just don't complete or are just completely skipped when they shouldn't be. This game is great, don't get me wrong, but it's not very well optimised at all, and each patch seemed to bring with it a whole bunch of new issues. The PS4 version's load times are also much longer, and the Otago ship stuff is not very well optimised at all, making switching tabs throughout that menu an absolute chore. The datapad collectibles are also missable, and some of the xenotech is also missable because some missions won't let you return to certain areas. For example, Mission 3 Harper's Hell, the refinery, you can't actually return to the basement after beating the level, and there's some collectibles down there. In Mission 8, the research station also has some missable xenotech, so you'll need to make sure you get them as you're going through the mission. And if you find that some xenotech and datapads can't be collected when you're following a guide, just know that some are tied to side mission progress, so if you can't get them in the room you're in, then just do some of the missions and you'll find that you'll eventually be able to get them. So Aliens Dark Descent has a death clock in the game, which means that once you advance through all of the days and run down this counter, you'll just instantly get a game over and your progress will be wiped, and that's it, you've failed. So the pressure is on from about the halfway point in the game to get the missions done as efficiently as possible, to not waste too many days healing your team before you deploy. But honestly, you don't really need to worry too much about this death clock, as you do get plenty of days to do the last few missions. Plus, missions 9 and 12 are really short, easy ones that you won't actually advance a day on. On normal mode, you'll get 30 days to do it all, and on Nightmare, you'll get 20, but even that is still doable. Most of the levels can be beaten in one deployment throughout most of the game. The biggest tip though is to go with the recon sniper rifle silenced and try to just stealth through it as much as possible, because that'll mean you're not getting spotted by aliens, so they are aggressive and this isn't going up as much in the level, though sometimes throughout the level you'll just be forced to be spotted by the aliens due to some scripted event. But if you do get spotted by an alien, try and get to a safe room quickly and weld the door, because this will stop the hunting phase and prevent the aggression meter from rising too much. You should only ever really extract if it gets really hard and you reach the maximum aggressive level and you're just finding it too much. Otherwise, just try and complete each mission in one go. Do note though that missions like 1 and 6 will force you to extract midway through, so those will take 2 deployments. But yeah, it shouldn't really be too much of a worry, and you can turn the death clock off when you're not playing on the hardest mode, Nightmare, because it doesn't matter for the other trophies.
I hate this job. Here's your sample.
Okay, so with all that, now it's time to just run through each trophy quickly with a little description or tip. First up are the story-based trophies, and in Aliens Dark Descent, you'll get a trophy every time you beat a story level, and in total I think there are 13 levels in the game. There's also a couple of other trophies that are rewarded midway through missions, which force you to extract, like when you find the bigger APC from the movies. You'll often find that these trophies pop before you actually beat the mission and extract, usually on the final objective, but just clear all the missions and you'll easily get these trophies. And thankfully, the difficulty trophies stack in this game. So if you play on Nightmare difficulty first, you'll also unlock the trophies for clearing hard and normal at the same time. Here are a few Nightmare mode tips that I think you should know about. So all of the missions play out exactly the same. The main differences are that the aliens are a lot stronger, and if you get spotted, the aggression meter will fill up a lot quicker. So you'll definitely want to go with a silenced sniper rifle with your recon class in order to try and stealth past as much as you can. Now there are times in the missions where you're forced to be seen, so the aggressive meter will rise, but just try and go through stealthily and take your time. You want to avoid as many fights as possible. Go with all the perks and abilities that I've outlined in this video already, and save your xenotech to be able to buy the infestation level remover at the end of the game, because you'll need the aggressive level low for the final couple of missions to make it more easy on yourself. If you are struggling because the aggressive meter has gone high, and really hard, then just extract, reset the level and go back later. You can sacrifice a couple of days and still make it within the time limit. Aliens Dark Descent also features a couple of collectible trophies. The gold trophy called Regicide is for killing all of the queens found throughout the game's campaign. So there's typically almost one on every mission, though there are a handful of missions where there are no queens at all. But you'll normally find these either on as part of the story or just in a side area. So just explore and look around and eventually you'll stumble across them, and if you can kill them all in a single playthrough, you'll pop this gold trophy. The next collectible trophy we have is a bronze trophy for buying all of the weapons, called One for Every Occasion. Now, you buy the weapons by using the materials which you can find in boxes scattered throughout the levels, and if you get the looter perk, you can get more materials from these boxes to make it easier to buy all of the weapons. I just saved up as much materials as I needed, then brought them all and just reloaded my save so that I didn't waste all of those materials, because really you don't need all those weapons. A missable collectible type is for finding and buying or unlocking all of the xenotech upgrades which you can find throughout the levels. If you're unsure of which levels have how many collectibles in, you can just go to the map screen and scroll through each of them and you can easily see how many are in these levels. Bear in mind, some are missable, as I've mentioned earlier on in this level, but if you can find them all and then buy them all with your xenotech that you find off dead aliens, you can get that trophy. The next missable collectible trophy is the Archivist trophy or Archivist trophy, which is unfortunately currently unobtainable on PS5, but if you can find them all on the PS4, the trophy will pop. And again, like the xenotech, some missions have missable data pads because there's areas of the level that you can't return to after beating that level for the first time, so just be aware of that and use a guide online to make sure you find them all. Now we have some combat related trophies. First up is the bronze trophy, Use the Bumper, for running over an alien in the APC. Now you'll probably get this without trying, but if you're struggling, just make a load of aliens find you and then stand within the path of the APC, go onto the map and call it to another deployment place, and the chances are you'll probably run over one. You can even just get in the car and drive back and forth, and eventually the APC will just run over something and you'll get the trophy. There's another trophy for killing every alien in an onslaught called Keep 'Em Coming, and this bronze trophy is one that you'll definitely get without trying because you're gonna encounter an onslaught at some point throughout a level and you're gonna have to kill the aliens because they just rush to you. The best tactic is to just, as soon as it appears on screen that it's coming, you get about 20 seconds, just find a corner of an area, stick a load of turrets down, use suppressive fire, and you'll just easily kill them all. There's also a trophy for killing an enemy without being detected called Call Me Snake, which is a great Metal Gear reference, and this one you can either use the silenced sniper rifle or just immediately take them out with a grenade without them noticing. As you can see, I do here on the first level after killing the queen and trying to free the people in the cocoons. I use a grenade on this unaware face hugger and it just gives me the trophy instantly, so that's a nice easy one, to be honest. Next up we have a trophy called Colonial Barrels for getting a explosive barrel kill, and this, you get plenty of opportunities to do this throughout the game because there's loads of barrels that you can blow up. You just have to highlight them and press the button to get a marine to shoot them, or use a grenade launcher to blow it up from the blast radius. But here I get it in mission 2 when all of these people are chasing me. I just shot the barrel. I wasn't really trying to get the trophy, but it just popped anyway because I was trying to kill them all. Next up we have a trophy for blowing up 4 eggs with 1 RPG shot or 1 grenade launcher shot. So this is an easy one that you'll more than likely do when you're going into rooms and you see these eggs. Best to use the grenade launcher in my opinion because that has a big area of damage and you can easily see if it's going to take them all out or not because they'll all be highlighted red. And like I say, there's plenty of rooms with this in, and there's even a few alien encounters, queen encounters that have a bunch of these around, so you'll easily get it. Next up, we have another weird bronze trophy called Cleaning Leaf, one nest at a time, for killing 100 aliens in a single playthrough. And this is another one that you'll just naturally get when playing through the game, because even if you're trying to go through and stealth through most areas, you'll have to do onslaughts at various points in the game, so you'll easily rack up 100 alien kills and get this trophy without any problems. Whew, yeah. Okay, next up we have a trophy called Recouped Investment for getting 10 kills with a single sentry gun. So if you put the gun down, it has to kill 10 enemies. I'm not sure whether you can pick it back up and put it back down again to still get the kills. So I would do it in this area of this mission here, because it's where I got it, and there's plenty of aliens coming around. If you really want to, just stick one turret down so none of the other turrets rob the kills. But yeah, it's an easy one to do on an easier difficulty. Next up we have Heavy Steps, the bronze trophy for luring a queen into a mine. So you'll have to buy the mine weapon on the Otago in the workshop, and then make sure you equip it on a marine to take into a level with you. So I did it on what I believe is number 9, Extraction, because there's a save point just before the queen, right in that other room opposite it. So all you got to do is plant a mine in the corridor outside, go into the room, use the grenade launcher to take out all the face huggers, and then lure the alien out to hit the mine to get that trophy. So now we have some leveling up XP trophies. So each character class needs to reach level 10 in order to pop a bunch of trophies for leveling up each character to its maximum level. So I've mentioned earlier in this video that you earn XP through completing primary and secondary objectives. And you also get them for clearing out onslaughts. Killing all the aliens everywhere in a level doesn't actually net you any XP at all. It's only through those actions. Another way to level up Marines if you're struggling is to send them to the training area in the Otago. These will level up a certain amount of XP every day, and if you're playing on the custom difficulty and still haven't got this trophy and you've turned off the death clock, you can easily just manipulate the training camp there and cycle through a load of days to get them all up to level 10. Once you do that with every single character in a single playthrough, so you've got every single class up to level 10, you'll pop another trophy for doing that. So now I'm just going to run through the rest of the trophies in the game. So if you manage to prevent one of the aliens from abducting a marine, you'll get the bronze snatched out trophy. So this will probably happen multiple times throughout the game, and I got it on the very first main mission at this point in the game. So all of these aliens rush in and they try and grab an alien, a marine rather, and take them away. As soon as you see this happening to one of your marines, just blast that alien with everything you've got to make them drop the marine and give you that bronze trophy. So a lot of your marines will always have negative effects. They might be scared of not having any medipacks. They might be getting more stressed out. Their aim may be affected and their accuracy will drop. These are what they call negative traits in the game, and in order to remove a negative trait and get the trophy, you need to be given the option of the redemption perk when leveling up a marine, and eventually you'll see that perk. So as soon as you do, use it, because it's very useful, not just for giving you that trophy. The Silver People Person trophy is awarded for securing 5 survivors throughout a campaign. So these are the engineers, physicians that you can save during the missions. A lot of times these will be attached to side missions where you can rescue people, so as long as you extract them out safely without them dying, eventually you'll probably get this midway through the game. So yeah, it's another easy one that you'll get that does actually benefit you gameplay wise. The bronze This Was No Paper Cut trophy is unlocked for stopping a marine from bleeding out. So usually this happens when a marine is low on health. Here you see I got it in this level once this guy got hurt by the electricity blast of these machines. It took him down to red health and he had the bleeding effect. You'll see the blood drop icon appear. As soon as that happens, just heal him with the medic first aid kit and you'll get that trophy. So another trophy is awarded for securing a unconscious marine in the APC truck. So as soon as a marine goes down, if it comes up with like unconscious, or I think even coma will work as well, just take them back to the APC to get them out. You'll maybe want to do it in a level where you start off by an APC and there's a bunch of aliens around, so you don't have as long as a slow walk to get them back. But as soon as you do it, you'll unlock that trophy. You have to extract as well, I think. The bronze Stuff of Nightmare trophy requires you to remove a facehugger from a downed marine. So this requires you to get the xenotech upgrade, which I think you find in a crate in the first mission. It's definitely early on. And then you have to buy it to unlock it, and then purchase it to be able to take it into a level with you. It's the embryotic extraction one, I think. As soon as you see a facehugger grabbing an enemy, just use it to free them, and you'll get that trophy. And then it should just the bronze True Experience trophy is unlocked if you complete one objective in a mission as a squad of just one marine. Now, for me, in both my playthroughs on PS4 and 5, I unlocked this during the mission 10, the Spire, because this mission just glitched out every single time and didn't count all of the objectives, so I couldn't progress to the next mission. Once you go back to mission 10, you just get with one character. I got the trophy, but I would just say use one marine to complete an easy side mission. Maybe the data pad collection in mission 10. That's probably an easy one to do once you've cleared out the floor. So if you can finish the entire game without having any deaths at all, you'll get a trophy. And you have to make sure none of your marines die in the mission, but also no one dies while on the Otago. So remember to look at the barracks thing for the memorial tab. If you see that, you've avoided the trophy. But if you don't see it, you should be okay. The gold Flawless Victory trophy requires you to beat the game on the No One Can Hear Them Scream mode, which is basically a limited save where it only saves when you're on the Otago. And if you save in a safe house, but you only get one save file throughout the mission. You can play this on custom and set everything to easy and just change the save mode to this. So it's not that bad. You just got to avoid the many glitches of the game, really. That's your biggest problem. The bronze Chalk It Up to Experience was the last trophy I needed, and this one required you to get one marine with 2 prosthetic limbs. So in order to do this, you can either get hurt by humans with pickaxes who will chop limbs off, aliens, or what I found the best way to do it was to call down the airstrike and make a soldier stand in the blast radius. Eventually they'll lose their limbs. You'll see like a foot or arm icon. You just got to extract them back to the APC, and then when you're in the med bay, just pay with materials and a physician to heal them, and they'll come back the next day with a robotic arm or leg. You then need to do it again to get the second limb and get the trophy. It is a bit of a pain, and it did take me a while constantly reloading and trying it again and again, but eventually you'll get it. And if you do that, you'll then end up with a nice shiny platinum trophy for your troubles. So with all that said and done, what do I think about this game? Well, for me, Aliens Dark Descent is a game that I really love and I really hate at times. When the game is working, it's great, but when the game is being BS, it's annoying, and when the game is being broken, it's frustrating as hell. Hopefully, with a few more patches, the game will run better and be a more enjoyable adventure. For me, I don't play these type of games normally, but I had a blast with Aliens Dark Descent. And I'm really proud of this Platinum trophy, and hopefully in the future I'll be able to get the PS5 Platinum for it once they figure out how to fix that datapad bug. So for me, I'd still recommend this game despite its many flaws. However, in its current state on PS5 as of the making of this video, I'd have to say avoid it because you can't get the Platinum. But if you're playing on the PS4 version at this point, then I'd definitely say plat it. Nightmare mode is a cool challenge, and the limited saves mode can be quite intense at times, even when playing it on the custom easy difficulty. Overall, it's a fun game to play when it works, and the trophies are fairly straightforward, with Nightmare being the only real challenge. So yeah, what are you waiting for, Marines? Go play this game and go and platinum it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.